unsheathed hate. I know the reason she's so far away.
Take me away from home. Show me all the places I've never known. And we'll chase the night. Erase all of these broken dreams in flight. And we'll fly. Up here, we're free, bound only by frozen memories. Lost in time, racing all these broken dreams tonight. And we'll
Hello, we are back here with the Kings of the North ProBots tournament. We are in the second phase of the round of 8, our last best of 3 for the round of 8, and we are going to be having 2 bots, another ZVP. It is going to be CreepyBot, our Zerg player, versus CannonLover, our Protoss. Both very descriptive names of what they may do.
So it's funny because and this is obviously a testament to my inability to figure out things. When I think about CreepyBot, I originally assumed it was being creepy, as in like it was going to like message you creepy things, but it probably means that it's going to just spread creep everywhere. And that's exactly.
I mean, both the bots are named like someone that should be on like a predator's list. But they are StarCraft related. So.
You know what though? The best thing about these bots names is that it's something that I would imagine a pro player might name themselves. Yeah. Just Creepy and Cannon. right? That's it. Or CannonLover. I love cannons.
Exactly. I could see a Korean player just naming themselves Lover.
Right.
That makes sense.
I love Boa.
They just pick a word, yeah, and then say that that's their name.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. Creepy would definitely be a good name. I'm sure there are people out there named Creepy.
Someone has that name, I'm sure, somewhere. Creepy.
Definitely.
You'd be the best part if you can release these bots onto the ladder. Just like,
yeah,
go.
I'd like to see that at some point, because there is some. I'd love to see. Actually, someone mentioned in chat something that we were even thinking a little bit is the winner of the tournament plays Neve or someone. It would be neat to have them play humans, but I'd like to see where they do fall on the ladder. I think if there's also the exploitive nature. If you knew that you were playing a bot on the ladder, you could probably exploit it more. If you had no idea, some of these strategies of like just holding up and macroing would work. Like
I bet you if you told to BM, like a player, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't even know you were playing a bot. I
don't think anyone would even think about it at this point. They just assume it's a human. But it's definitely true. If you got, say, like the HX has pretty good macro, and we've seen the 5-minute bot have pretty good macro. If you just put those on ladder and they did nothing but build up and then eventually move their army, they could certainly beat people up to a certain rank. I don't know what that rank would be, but that would certainly be a winning strategy if you could just make more stuff than your opponent. So yeah, and then other ones that may have niches, like I'm sure let's see how this cannon one does, but certainly if a bot was taught to cannon well, there's no reason that can't beat humans up to a pretty good level. So
especially if you have a bot that like cannon rushes, like if you make a bot that's like a printf bot, I bet you could kill people with printf bot.
Had a pretty set way to go. Yeah, definitely you could do that. So although very often, again, when we talk to printf, a big part of it is then improvising off what they do. That might be difficult.
Yeah, that may be.
But we'll see how it plays with the other bots and so on. And I think we have some interviews coming up. We're going to be starting with CannonLover, I believe.
Yeah, let's take a look at CannonLover's interview.
Yeah.
Interview.
It might happen. So.
Interview.
So I'm Hanessa, and my bot's name is CannonLover. My bot's primary strategy is basically cannon rushing the opponent's natural expansion, and then go to a plan B, which is super macro and like some stalker and zealots and colossi. Well, my biggest strength against CreepyBot is basically the cannon rushing. I feel a bit naughty because he has a really good macro bot and I do this cheesy strategy, so I think it will be pretty effective. Yeah, so my bot basically have to watch out for good defense, early game defense, because if someone counters the cannon rush, my bot will be at a disadvantage, basically, because it spent so much resources into the cannon rush. I feel sorry for this. Seem like a nice guy, and I have a really nice bot, so I hope we get to the late game.
So wait, so does he want his bot to lose?
I don't know. It did kind of sound like that. I think he just wants to show off his Colossus play.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting approach there. So he's basically cannon rushing, but almost not cannon rushing for the kill. He's cannon rushing to control and mitigate what his opponent can do, and then macro behind it. So that's going to be cool to see. if he can pull that.
Because it has a plan B. It has a plan B for once the cannons. Like, it's almost assuming the cannons will lose.
Also, it almost sounds. We'll see how he plays it out, but particularly against a Zerg, the cannons can't win. Like, they don't literally win the game. You have to do something else. So what do you do? Because you can't kill their main hatchery with cannons.
Nope.
So you have to do something else. So it sounds like he's already going in with that in mind. And this may be the type of thing that, stops creep spread, stops early macros, stops stuff like that. We'll see. But let's hear then from our other opponent. It is going to be CreepyBot's creator to discuss the creepy Zerg strategies that may.
Let's see what Bernie has to say.
Bernie. I made the CreepyBot. My bot's primary strategy is getting to the late game, through the mid game and early game, of course, and going into Brutal Viper Corruptor. My bot's strength against CannonLover is defending the initial cannon rush, holding it off, and then hopefully countering with roaches, and then going to the late game with Brutal Viper Corruptor. In general, my bot has to watch out for cheeses and early game rushes. 1 base all-ins, maybe 2 base all-ins as well, but then it would be fine. Hanessa, you did a good job. I wish you good luck in the match, but let's find out who wins.
Everyone's always so nice.
That's it. I feel like people were meaner in the first week, but everyone just wishing everyone the best and like, how's your mom? And stuff like that. But interesting that that's his strategy here. So, I mean, he's not just looking to go into a macro mid game. He's looking for Broodlord, Viper. Like, you know, he's looking for some pretty end game stuff here. So that's going to be interesting. The Vipers in particular will be really, I kind of hope that we get there because that takes some very specific control. If he's going to be pulling individual units and stuff like that. Like if I see a bot Viper snag a Colossus, that's awesome. So I kind of hope we do get to that point. It may just be one of the things where it's going to throw down a lot of blinding clouds, but that sounds pretty cool. But it sounds like the Zerg is at least macro minded, but it sounds like he knows that the early attacks are what it has to survive, so it must have defense built in to get to that late game. So I think this could be a pretty good matchup as well.
I like that I feel like we know we're going to the late game. That the late game is coming because the way that these matchups are set up, that it's almost inevitable that we're going to have good, solid, long macro games. I'm excited for that. I'm excited.
Yeah, I hope so. So.
But I hope we don't get very turtly, because if we get to a very turtle position, that could be weird.
Yeah. If it's totally build uppy, like if they're both just building up in their own base and no one's going out to do anything. But from what we're hearing from CannonLover, at least, it's going to be out there with cannons to try and provoke its opponent at the very least into to doing something. So we'll see, and we'll be jumping on to Dreamcatcher.
Dreamcatcher. I wonder if they know to take over some of the unusual. Like, I'd love to see a bot that knows to use Dreamcatcher to its advantage, or like
steal the gold.
Steal the gold, and just like, all right, I'm going to be cheeky and take the gold.
Yeah. So we have up here on the top left-hand corner of the map, it is our Zerg player, CreepyBot.
Intro.
See, before it was playing when we didn't want it yet. And now
That's like the best.
And the opponent of the Benny Hill music down here on the there we go.
Yeah.
That sounds like that could be either music introducing a French king or a Final Fantasy fight. I don't know what that is exactly.
Maybe it's both.
Both.
So yeah, that was CannonLover, because I don't think we got actually seen the name.
Exactly. So,
oh my god, something's happening here.
So Probe here, not exactly being evasive. It does. Oh, doesn't know how to mineral walk, or you're just stuck here. Oh well. Okay, that's a little indecisive, but there's a second. There's definitely a second one coming. Now it's going to be a while, but it is coming. That cannon. Let's see if he gets over there before that tree finishes.
It was so cheeky there because it tried and got stuck, and I think it didn't know what it wanted to do.
Is the music Warcraft?
Yeah, it's from Warcraft.
Warcraft. Okay.
Yep.
That's it. It sounded. Yeah. I don't know.
Like, I don't know. I'm worried about this. Oh my gosh, is this gonna make it? Is this gonna make it before the creep? Oh my god, it changed its mind.
Just aborted the plan. So I don't know what's going on there.
What is it gonna do now?
That seemed like it still would have been good. Nothing apparently. So
okay.
So this could be improved. I'm not gonna lie to you. This portion could be improved. But we'll see how it plays out in the next game. But he's already just expanding behind this, so it's not the end of the world for our Protoss player. And hey, a pylon's annoying.
A CannonLover without a cannon.
Yeah.
Just a lover.
Oh well.
Just a lover.
Yeah. So there we go. Ling will go to town on that pylon, just to clear it out for later. And Overlord coming and will scout that. That CannonLover has abandoned the cannons and will be expanding.
You know what though? It actually might be a good idea for it to abandon the cannon. At first, I was kind of like, if you forgot your strategy, you didn't continue it. But at the same time, it might make it sense where it's like it might have been like, all right, calculated. This is not this has failed. Stop doing this now.
Maybe this is all just an elaborate ploy
to make more cannons.
Well, no, to never have intended to make cannons in the first place.
Oh my god! Can you imagine if it was so meta? Where
you just name your thing CannonLover, and you have no intention of it. I'm gonna make one that's just called only makes Reapers, and then tack into battle cruisers,
or make Void Raids.
Yeah,
only make Reapers, and you're not even Terran.
So this pylon is interesting.
Okay, but why?
Why? It seemed ill-advised. The probe trying to get in, see what's going on. This will be taken down, of course, as CreepyBot is expanding again.
See, I thought the whole idea of the cannon-loving element and it giving up the cannon was because it thought it wasn't a good idea, but it still put down cannons. So I would really like to get like a little peek into its processing, its decision tree, where it's like, well, that cannon didn't work, so I'll try it further back.
Yeah. It would be neat to program into one of these bots something, just a command at the end of the game where you can type, why though? and it would tell you. Like this right now, I don't know what is happening with these probes.
I think
juking back and forth for some reason. Like this is now like the 8th probe to leave the base in front like this, and I don't know what they're looking for, but they're doing something.
I think one of the rules of the tournament was to prevent spam. So there's like a moratorium on the speed of the amount of chat a bot can do. And I think we might lift that so we can get some bots as you're talking some smack and I'm like,
yeah,
hey, nice cannon there. Nope.
Yeah. So 8 probes lost to really very little. Now something that so the CreepyBot obviously is spreading creep, but it's also spreading overlords to every base. So there's an overlord sitting over every mineral path, so that's going to know whenever an expansion comes down immediately. So that's quite good. And it will be awesome. I don't know if the layer's done yet, but if it starts pooping creep on the base, then that's even better. Because again, that's going to throw everything off. If you if something wants to expand and then it's delayed a minute because there's creep there, that I could definitely see that.
I have to say, the whole idea of creep and using it on a bot has to be actually really clever, because technically you could be perfect. You could be perfect. You could be perfect at spreading creep. And it didn't hit me until I realized now that the idea that your bot could just perfectly spread creep and have infinite map presence. These 12 probes.
I have no idea what's going on with these. Like, I really want to know, but I got to think that this is its prime scouting method or something. It should just make it observable.
And I wonder if it may be that problem where ESChamp had mentioned it to me prior, where a bot, like we were discussing his bot, but I wonder if CannonLover might have the same problems where it doesn't process it as a failure. So it's going to continuously send out probes in attempt
to do the thing that it
and look, here we go. We have one that's been successful. So like, it's almost like it's been testing places of which it can do this cannon strategy, and the creep is like the edge of which it knows it can actually place down its cannon. So this bot may be the perfect counter, because you can't place your cannons down on creep.
Yeah.
So, you know, even if it's successful in landing this particular set of cannons, there are 3 other paths that these units can probably go to avoid cannons if they so choose. Actually, the middle path will probably be the path they take, regardless.
Yeah, like quite likely. It may just have this be dead set on this, that we need a forward operating base. And this, what it's doing now, it obviously was attempting to do this 2-3 minutes into the game, and it's just going to do it until it works.
And which now, and it's funny because this is where it's putting out its gateways. It's like, you're right, it's setting up a forward operating base, but it's like, okay. And I guess he's fortunate enough that CreepyBot is responding to this base as opposed to like, oh, are we abandoning? I think we're abandoning.
Looks like it was, there is a bit much there. It could have made a little bit of a stand there if there were more maybe stalkers, but zealots are not ideal even with the cannons.
Patrol move. Good old patrol move. This reminds me of Villobot and the way they like move.
Yeah.
Good news is it hasn't given up. It's still going to drop down cannons.
Yeah,
Bad news is it hasn't given up.
It sees some ground there, and it's definitely going to go for it. We got the Spire come down and the Hive coming for CreepyBot, so the 8-minute Hive standard. And creep is just everywhere on this map.
I was going to say.
We are seeing the Overlords. They are spreading creep on the expansions as well.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
I think I take back what I was saying, because originally I assumed the name CreepyBot was to insinuate the bot itself was creepy. And then I realized it's actually because it spread creeps. But now I'm going to actually say it is creepy, because the fact that the entire map within 8 minutes is now almost completely consumed by creep, which is, if you think about it, if you're not a Zerg bot, is a huge disadvantage to you if you're like trying to expand and you can't process why you can't expand.
Yeah, exactly. I think that would be a big throw off. And again, it's one of those things. I wonder if it knows the difference. Like not seeing a DT that's blurred. If you chased an Overlord away and there's just creep there, I wonder if it knows.
No, I'm assuming it just processes it as incompatible land or unbuildable.
Yeah. Which then also
surface.
brings up the interesting thing of, would an interesting strategy be to burrow a Ling at every location, knowing that it may never figure it out?
I think that's actually a really good idea. I think having the like a little Ling, just a single Ling to hide in the base to prevent the bots from processing works. But I think this also works with the idea of the Overlord dropping creep. Because it is just as distracting until the creep spread and the tumors get lived. I don't think, I feel like, hey.
He has the right idea. There he goes. It's funny. It's the probe going around clearing this stuff out. The stalker was like a pacifist.
I don't believe in killing changelings.
Yeah.
I'm against it.
Yeah, roaches, the army is really just ignoring each other here until they get to certain key points. Oh, nice burrow move here on the single roach. That's got to be reasonably elaborate to code. He will have a ton of roaches here, half of them going after the third base while some other portion going up into the natural. I don't know that this will be denied.
Stutter stepping probes.
Yeah. And so we won't get to see
Rest in pieces, cannons.
Vipers or anything come out, as he is maxed out here, and I don't know that anything is really going to kill many of these units.
Oh.
No, well, as long as we still have a dance party going on in the main base.
Oh, and they left. They changed their mind.
They're just retreating.
Well, Saturday Night Live in the Protoss base.
Yeah.
Sans cannons.
And yeah, that's what I'm figuring is we've got, basically there's no room to make the higher tech here, but we're going to have the roaches clean through everything. It doesn't look like there's going to be a GG timing on this spot.
No.
Things will be plowed down relatively quickly here.
Oh, it did.
Oh, it did. It did ultimately do that. That's good. Maybe it knows, like, lose your last Nexus, because that's exactly when it did it. To tap out at that point.
It was probably the Nexus was the trigger, but it's exciting to think that this next match may or may not have real cannons. I came for a cannon fight. I was prepping myself to watch many cannons.
Exactly.
And I
was promised cannons, Broodlords, Colossus. That didn't happen. So we gotta see some. So we'll hopefully get that in the next game. We're going to 16-bit LE. Could be good. Although this one, as we discussed in the first thing, has the in-base natural if they choose to do that.
I don't think they're going to do it. I don't
know. Well, I think the Zerg's going to take both.
But the real thing to wonder around is whether or not we're going to do our intros and going to have it play on top of us.
Let's see. We're gonna start down here on the bottom left. It is our Zerg player spreading everywhere. It is CreepyBot. All right, and up here on the top right, this guy.
CannonLover.
The first time I heard the music, it sounded majestic, but I did associate it with an MMO for some reason. But now that I know it's from Warcraft, this time instead of like a regal French king, I'm seeing a panda in a stupid hat.
No, I think it's like the original Warcraft. I don't know if it's like Mr. Pandaria, Warcraft. Yeah, it's Warcraft 2. That's what I saw. But I felt like we're like Hail to Britannia anytime, any few seconds. Like I felt really regal.
Warcraft 2, the good RTS game. So this
Warcraft 3 though.
Was it 3 or 2? Someone said.
Well, Warcraft 3 is the best. That was Warcraft 2, but Warcraft 3 is the best one.
All right. So the probes do need better micro, but we got a cannon coming down. Will the drones kill?
Oh my god!
Almost certainly yes. He does cancel. So CannonLover is the least committed to the cannon I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, we're just not going to get cannon.
It's more like cannon flirter. Right? Yeah. You know, not really in love with the cannons, not really committed. You know, there's commitment issues.
You can't just tease cannons like this.
Teasing cannons out, just teasing little cannons out. And what would probably be ideal is probably send 2 probes.
Especially since, inevitably it seems like you're going to anyway. I think a key to the cannon rush and
is the cannons?
Well, it's the cannons, but it's the probe micro around it. You know you're going to get someone chasing you. If you immediately die to the thing that chased you, that's not going to work out for you. You're going to have a bad time.
All right. We've just been informed by our voice in their ear that there is an option for us to see how the cannons actually work.
Might be neat. So yeah, we'll see how the rest of the series plays out and go to there. But yeah, again, we do have CreepyBot expanding to both bases. CannonLover is expanding, and he is doing his own in-base natural, not the external one. So cool. I don't know if it knows it's doing that. I don't know what the decision-making criteria is, but that's what it's doing.
And you know what? Someone did correct me in chat, and it's true. It did try to do cannons like 8 times last game, so there's a level of commitment to that that movement of cannons. It sometimes I wonder if it should have just pushed the cannons through. But
yeah,
this particular match. So it actually has what is it? It's chrono boosting one of its gateways, and I wonder what it was trying to push out because I don't think it was producing anything. Oh, here we go, cannons.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get this again. And yeah, someone mentioned it is committed to the concept. just not the execution of it. It's not committed to that.
It's like
it's like
a really romanticized
it's
Silicon
like
Valley tech.
A Canon Tinder date that knows it has other options, so they
so it like
drops the first one and like he continues to swipe, but it's not gonna settle on this cannon spot. No, settle on that cannon this
spot.
queen. I think that queen was trying to get to the high ground that the Overlord's supposed to sit on, something like that. But it's wandering around.
One of the things I like about CreepyBot is that his units are very active. And one of the couple things we've seen with other bots is that they've been really clustered to their base, so they don't come out a lot. And CreepyBot is legit all over the map, and this is actually where he's catching a lot of these cannons because he is like there are constantly Overlords moving around, there are Zerglings moving around, there's Queens moving around. Mm-hmm. He's all over this map, and he's seeing these probes well before these probes get to do anything.
And so much of this is based on like CreepyBot's really exploiting having actual vision and knowledge, even using changelings at some point. Like it's really trying to make up for that lack of sight and memory and stuff by just permanently seeing everything.
Holy crap. I don't know why that just dawned on me, because that makes a lot of sense. Because if you don't have that memory, one of the things is to be constantly able to see, to simulate the idea of complete visibility of the map always. Yeah. And that is a really solid strategy. I'm actually really interested to see if CreepyBot moves on to the next round, how will he deal with something like ESChamp bot? Or actually that's who he would be up against. So I'm curious to know how will that kind of vision spreading work in his advantage.
Yeah, it's definitely going to give you a lot of good forewarning and planning, as long as your bot then responds to that information. So
yeah, oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's obviously the key. It's one thing if you see everything but you don't know what to do, but it looks like it is making at least some use of that info. So
CannonLover is making blink, but I don't believe I saw it blink any last game. So I'm curious if it will use any blinking.
Last game, the Stalkers, again, completely pacifistic, did not want to attack anything. So yeah, a blink almost implies a certain level of aggression, but he may use that to retreat.
I'm curious because I heard Colossi in the interview, so I'm excited to believe that the Colossi may appear this game. But I see no sign of anything that look. Oh, never mind. A robotics facility has been thrown down.
Robo is there, so
Colossi might come up.
And Probe's still kind of scouting around, looking for places that it can put things, but
it really is committed to the cannons.
No dice. Again, a Protoss on a 3-base economy certainly has some options here. We'll see what he does, but CreepyBot's economy is much better, sitting at 80 drones, and we found a place to put that pylon as the army goes to support it, although it is a very fickle support as it leaves already.
And they changed their mind.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good date. But I think that I noticed some of CannonLover's primary, no, it has no vision too. I wonder how that affects it because it can't see past the steam. So, it assumes that
we were wondering what it would do if Creep was in the way. Apparently, whatever. It's just going to put it approximately there.
Now, I thought it was going to change its mind. Nope, that was not the case.
No,
Well,
no
now we
change.
know. Great mystery has been solved.
Yeah.
Wow, Creep itself is so offensive in this battle. Like it just,
yeah,
it literally will screw up with any bot that's not Zerg.
Yeah, definitely good here. Now we got the Protoss moving out. This time it is actually going to kill off some of this creep as the observer does
Ah,
take that out. The roaches are coming, and this time the army will fight, judging that it is bigger.
oh my god.
Yeah, now it will treat that it actually sees. But for a while there, that blinder was helping out in its fighting. And now again, it forgets what's on top of the ramp, so it will fight again. We got the warp-ins here on the high ground on Creep. Nice roach retreating there as a few get away with very, very low health.
This is feeling a lot healthier in terms of a match for CannonLover. I was a little worried when I saw that engagement. I thought that engagement was going to, because I saw the amount of roaches, and if they got a good concave, there was no way CannonLover is walking away from that.
Yeah.
Especially the way he's been dancing.
Exactly.
Speaking of dancing.
So again, it's this changeling. They're having the changeling dance party that they don't know what to do about this. This is amazing. But the probe knew to kill it.
The probe still knows to do.
Yeah. It's the
best part is, and they're going after him.
Yeah.
So I wonder if the probes, like right now, the whole goal is to get a probe to turn around and see the changeling and make a decision for everybody else.
I feel there, though, the changeling has betrayed his own roach force.
Yep.
Which this army wouldn't have come back here, I don't think, without that. But he now will get to try and defend here. Blinks, although it's blinking kind of indiscriminately to its own high ground. Observer there does make sure that the burrowing here is not going to be as effective, but roaches pushing this back.
This is feeling kind of, this is a huge swarm of roaches. I don't feel that. They pulled up to the high ground, so I don't know if they get to exploit something. Never mind.
In absolutely full retreat mode.
I hoped too much. I was like, maybe some force fields on the ramp. Will we see some force fields on the ramp?
No, we got a bunch of probes coming to hang out.
Parties happening on the top of the ramp, boys.
Doing something. Changelings here, throwing in the mix. Stalkers terrified of the changelings. Now they're starting to engage a little bit with the strategic blink backs.
But they blinked back out of existence.
Exactly. Now they've gone a little too far. Yeah, they definitely could have controlled this ramp with force field, but now it is up on the high ground. CannonLover doesn't really have any money banked here, while CreepyBot has a gigantic bank. But CannonLover kind of out of minerals. Only the one base. Technically, kind of two bases still mining, although a little sparse in the main now.
You know what I didn't notice? I didn't get a chance to really think about is like, when did it expand to the safe base here? Was it second or third?
That was first. It did take the internal base first, yeah. And I don't know that CannonLover is going to get away from this, despite the fact that the roaches are kind of coming in very tepidly against these stalkers.
I believe in you, CannonLover. This is where we should have the song from like Titanic.
Yeah.
Like playing My Heart Will Go On. Oh, I don't really know the song. I don't even know if that was Titanic.
It's desperately trying to get that forge back down. That's priority one. But it's not gonna hold out here.
When all hope is lost, Cannon.
Yeah.
I hope it has a flowchart. I hope it has like a flowchart of how it plans.
Yeah.
Is there space?
Robotics Bay going down. We will not see a Colossus.
Not one.
And,
not one Colossus.
Let's see if the GG timing is exactly when the Nexus dies again. There is a single observer out on the map.
Ooh, not one Colossi to be found. Well, rip.
Let's go.
But yeah, it was definitely when
when the last Nexus. Yeah, it not necessarily GG, but it leaves
or self-destructs.
Self-destructs and calls it quits. It definitely had a little more legs that time, pushing out on the map and actually fighting out there.
Legs without a single Colossus,
yeah,
though.
exactly. So I think two somewhat fatal flaws for CannonLover is not very good at cannon.
The lack of cannons.
Yeah, that's kind of disappointing. And then, but also maybe, and we saw this with a couple other bots too. And I understand they're making the assessment of like, I'm outnumbered, so I shouldn't take this fight. There's a limit to how long you should do that. Like, you know, if you're in your own main, retreating is not like an option at the moment. So there's got to be some way around that to like say these are points where you can make a stand and stuff like that. Something.
Yeah, I think the aggressiveness with trying to get this cannon strategy doesn't work well for it against CreepyBot. That was like being matched up against CreepyBot. I think was definitely one of its huge pain points because the creep and this
so aggressive,
so aggressive, right? If it was up against another bot that was maybe Terran, maybe another Protoss, most likely like another Protoss bot, it would have been in a much healthier, I think, situation. I think we would have gotten to see what that bot would do. Let's take a look at the brackets where we're at. Brackets. All right, so a Bot versus 5-minute bot, and ESChamp versus CreepyBot.
Yeah, both should be good. So Protoss just underpowered, clearly, even in the bot world. Not
a huge reflection of the real situation of StarCraft, clearly.
Oh well. But yeah, a Bot versus 5-minute bot would be pretty good. Both are focused on macroing a fair bit, although 5-minute bot will come in and attack, whereas a bot very turtley. So that's going to be an interesting matchup, and turtley with like tanks and bunkers and everything like that. So curious how like drop play and some things that 5-minute bot knows how to do is going to play out against that. And then ESChamp versus CreepyBot. If you're playing another Zerg, the creep is not necessarily your friend, although it certainly gives you a vision. But you know, it could help the enemy.
It won't be. We won't see a very similar situation where the bot is confused by the creep, as opposed to this kind of for CannonLover, where it essentially the creep was a huge hindrance to being able to A, execute its primary strategy, and B, being able to just do what it's supposed to do afterwards. Right? So it's I feel that CreepyBot will have not a disadvantage, but it will have lost one of its crucial advantages against non-Zerg bots in this matchup. Yeah. That being said, if it makes it to the finals, it's going to be, I think, a good spot against its Terran opponents.
Yeah, for sure. And we're going to kind of get that potentially rock, paper, scissory ZVZ, where you're going to have roaches against either a large number of Hydra lane or against, we didn't get to see Mutus today, but that's apparently in the ESChamp's AI toolbox as well. So that could be interesting if you ended up with a Roach versus Muta army. What would happen there?
And the whole idea that it can't really see air is super interesting. That I don't know if it's just the bots right now currently aren't programmed to recognize air, and like future bots will be able to distinguish it. But having something like the Mutas coming out will, I think, especially if they do good micro, will put everyone in a really weird position going forward.
Yeah, will be quite interesting to see as this does progress. We're getting down to obviously top 4, so some pretty good ones here. All of them have shown, basically all the ones that have survived so far are the ones that have shown the ability to macro throughout the game. And I think that's definitely key. It's the ones that get above the 100 supply that are going to do well.
Well, 5-minute bot is going to be in this, like 5-minute bot is like definitely more of a quicker attacker bot. So I'm curious of how is it going to do against, like, you know, the non sort of all the different macro bots, whether it's going to just be their weakness, because A, 5-minute bot is one of the top bots, and B, if it goes in on some of these other bots that wait too long, you can see a moment where it just sweeps right through.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's the most, I guess, active in that sense that we've seen at least. So, yeah, will be some pretty good matchups coming up next week. And there is a window, I guess, for the actual programmers to make some alterations.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're going to potentially customize for their opponents. And, of course, you're going to customize for what your opponent did do, and then they may change what it did and so on. So a little mind games there as well. But, yeah, it's going to be neat. I don't know. The interactions are going to be really interesting.
Yeah, they'll be able to change it up. So that pretty much ends it for us tonight. That's all our matches. So Endersword, where can the peoples find you?
You can find me at Endersword on Twitter, and of course here several days a week, Monday and Thursday on our two talk shows, The Neutral Depot and Inside the Champ. And of course, the next couple Fridays, we are finishing out the ProBots tournament with the semifinals and finals.
Absolutely. And then you can find me pretty much at the same too as well. I'm on those. I'm also on those shows and on the Friday. Now, as it appears that Xquine was imploded and killed by a bot. So I have filled in temporarily. You can pretty much find anything with ESChamp on Facebook, Twitter, and all those good jazz. We also have an email list, which you can follow. So if I type !follow on the stream, yes, just click on that link, set up your email, and you can get notifications before the shows happen, so you know ahead of time. You can just set yourself a reminder. We let you know, send out a summary at the end of the week for the stuff that you did miss. That's also available if you want to support ESChamp. Not even support. If you missed this and you didn't get a chance or you didn't get to watch all of it, check out the VODs. If you got Twitch Prime is a lovely little thing that lets you just subscribe to your favorite subscriber. If you're already paying for Amazon anyways, easy peasy, no money, extra money. If not, you can always just regular subscribe. We also put these VODs up shortly up onto our YouTube at youtube.com/ESChamp. Get the VODs that way if you're willing to wait. But I don't know about you, I wouldn't want to wait. And then the last thing to mention that you can join the ESChamp tribe on patreon.com/ESChamp. Get a lot of perks behind the scenes and a lot of other goodies that we've been building up for. So other than that, I think we're pretty much ready to wrap up. Any final thoughts? Any
robots are good, kind of.
Robots in disguise.
Robots are going to be interesting, and we're going to get better and better matches as it goes on.
I was hoping you were gonna. I thought you were gonna do like a
robot, G.I. Joe Transformer,
or something from BattleBots, like a BattleBots
Yeah, I forget what they even say. They just yell in British. There's the two. I don't know, something. I hope one of the bots has like a flamethrower. I don't think we've seen Hellions.
Soon.
We need something like that. We need flamethrowers and saws and stuff like that coming out.
And there you have it, guys.
Yeah.
More flamethrowers. We're signing off here. Have a good night. More flamethrowers.